Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight. Tarnation TV's broadcast for the 3rd of June, 2005. The High Voltage Racing League brings you the Maverick Cup Series live from the Milwaukee Mile. This should be a lot of fun tonight. Some flat tracking. My name is Blaine Donlin, and of course, when it comes to flat tracks, we got the expert, Rod Weston.
I'd like to say I was, but I used to be pretty good at it until I started handing out my setup. That didn't work out all that well. But yeah, definitely a flat track. Anybody that doesn't really know what a flat track is, if you've ever been to Loudon or watched Loudon, it's basically the same thing. A little bit more different textures and whatnot, but a lot harder pit road to get onto. Loudon, you kind of get out of the turn 3 and 4, kind of down to the bottom, turn in there. Here, you're still on the track, and then the opening opens up right next to the end of the pit road wall, and then there's an opening, and then there's a wall. So it's a little bit tougher, especially on the green flag pit stops, to get in there.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that here in a little bit. You have to turn left to get into between the walls.
Yep.
What's pit road speed here? I think it was...
let me check that real quick.
Yeah, you'll have to back out and check it, I think.
Yep. It is 45 miles an hour.
Oh, I was going to guess 45, yeah.
Yeah. Which is about the same as at Loudon. Depending on what version of the track, and I think it's the same way with here, depending on what version of the track is. If you want to see how tough it is, if you back up a little bit and go watch Josh Mercurio, he'll show you how not to make it on the pit road.
Mercurio?
Yeah, he just pounded the end of the pit road wall.
Oh, wow. So
but that will give you an idea. That'll give you an idea just how hard it is.
All right, well, here we are. Tonight's race is sponsored by Rise Motorsports. Thanks, Rise Motorsports, for paying for the broadcast services tonight. Every once in a while, we get a sponsorship, so that's cool. The Maverick League, of course, has all their donation buttons and all that good stuff. And it's super cool when a sponsor comes up and wants to do it. So yeah, now you're gonna get to look at their logo, bottom right hand of your screen there all night long. Rise Motorsports. That's actually a team that races in here. I just can't remember who's on that team, but either way, I'm looking for Mercurio right now, and maybe I missed it.
You need to find the Cadillac. The first thing. Give me just a second. I think I can get you that information.
We're just fast forwarding through here to see if we can get them. See how not to get onto pit road. There he is.
It was coming to lap 6, I believe.
Oh, maybe I don't have it. He just popped on the track.
It was lap 6 coming, so he went down the front stretch. Nope, it was 6. That qualifying kicked in, and that kicked us out of there.
Yep. We'll take a look at it in happy hour. We'll fly around and make sure we show everybody what's going on. But yeah, this is race number 10 of the Maverick Cup Series this season. Stats right there. You got Merkel, Mercurio, Austin LaPlante, RJ Bishop, Tate Dorsey, Jonathan Peavy, Anthony McCreary, Michael Norman, Ulysses Sandoval, and Jorge Pachon make up your top 10.
Remember, one switch at a time.
And we've got some elaborate enhanced stats, thanks to Seth Cole, for turning me over to Score 4 so I can compile some statistics.
Yeah, the only thing I got to say to Seth is thank you, because I've never had my phone blow up so much on what day was it that you were doing that? Saturday?
Oh, yeah. It was cool. I was like, hey, check out what I found.
I found this, I found that. I'm like, oh my gosh, Blaine. But anyways, it is cool. We have them in front of us, we both do, which is very cool. A lot of good stats.
Because I noticed, as you get a few races into a season, it's nice to sort of have, the first couple of races, there's not really many numbers you can look at. But as the races go on, the percentages start coming into play, and you can start getting totals and all different kinds of stuff. And it's fun to have enhanced stats. And I knew there was stuff around. I just didn't really know where to start. So Seth said, try Score 4. So I found good. Score 4.
Thanks to Seth, we got some more information.
Yep. And it's like, what do you want to do? I'm like, well, I make Maverick Cup Series, and I just input the exports that come out of the game at the end of every day. You put in race 1, race 2, race 3, and once you've done them all, you just compile and it spits out totals. So it's pretty neat.
One new piece of information tonight, Carnby Edwards, he's not in the 68 tonight. Joseph Landy Papillon is back racing with us. He's been out of the racing for a few weeks. I chatted with him a little bit earlier, but glad to talk with him, and he's excited to be back, and hopefully he can do well tonight.
Well, and Ben was saying too that is it Nick Gunther hasn't been here since the opening race, so he was here for Daytona, and then he'd been gone for about 8 races, and he's back tonight.
And Carberry has been our super sub. He's been subbing for just about everybody. I couldn't quite get the information out of him earlier to whether he was subbing for somebody tonight. He was a little excited about one of the drivers out there, and he didn't really give me that information. But I did get a chance to talk to Austin LaPlante, which we have not been able to during the broadcast and whatnot. And Austin said, assured me today, if we want to bring him up there, he'll stay in our team speak. So, but I used to race against Austin over at the Hobo Racing Series, and had a lot of fun with him over there. Unfortunately, his work schedule got him away from racing, and then he decided to start coming back, and he's been over here ever since.
That's pretty awesome. They always come back around with this community because the community never goes away. The drivers might step away for a little while, but you always know you can come back. I'm like, I wonder if those guys are still playing that NASCAR game. Answer's probably yes.
He doesn't live that far away from me. He's actually closer to Loudon than I am. So over in
yeah. Well, we're into happy hour here now. So now that we have the qualifying is complete, this is the official qualifying, or are they?
I believe so.
That should be the official qualifying, I would think.
I don't know. Sometimes we talk about it and then say, "Whoa, that wait a minute." A lot of times the reasoning behind that is they have so many drivers they have to do some knockout qualifying.
Yeah.
But I don't know exactly the count. We've got a bunch. I don't know what the count is in there, but there's a lot of drivers in there tonight. Not a lot of them. They just barely started their practice, their happy hour practice, and not everybody is out there. Everybody's out there, but not everybody's taking time yet. So.
Yeah, and you can see this pit entry there. That's pretty crazy.
It's a tough one under green flag position. Gosh, I did that wrong. Green flag
conditions.
At green flag conditions, it is very, very tight. Now the biggest thing that you got to do is what you're going to do about midway through that corner. You're going to start rolling into the throttle to make it off that corner. But as you could just see there, if you were watching a little bit there, you'll see a car go into that pit road. They have to slow down quite a bit to get into that pit road. Yeah. So you got to get out there. You got to put your post up there that you are pitting and letting the people behind you know. Hopefully they see that and go to the high side and not take you out.
Or that happens.
It's not a fun pit road, really.
Yeah. Right off the turn, you can see, like you said, they're coming full throttle. They're taking that turn, but then once you're able to flatten the car out, you can really slam on those brakes. But you've got to get by those yellow barrels. You've got to get her down to 45.
And I think here too, the big key to flat tracking, and as Kirby Edwards has shown us again what not to do there, is that you actually have to do a lot of trail braking on a flat track to be good. Now some of the guys there that don't do trail braking, they're going to struggle tonight. For the guys that know about trail braking and know how to use it, I think you'll see those guys, kind of come to the top. And, they always say the cream rises to the top. So, not saying that every track that, because Jack Merkel's their points leader, he's not always up there winning races. He's usually finishes up near the front. And, as they say, the cream rises to the top. But you'll get to certain tracks. Some guys are great at Talladega and Daytona. Some people are great at flat tracks. So we'll see the guys that are good at flat tracks rise up tonight.
Yeah, and the trailer braking thing too, keeping power in those wheels definitely helps you control it. That the car can get away from you real quick.
Yeah, what you do basically is you never really let off the gas and then you start to brake. And so what happens if you let off the gas and snap off the gas, the car will just actually over-rotate and you lose it. You use the brake and the gas to kind of control that. And I know it sounds a little weird. You don't let that off completely off the gas, but you use the brake and the gas to try to keep the wheels from getting, losing their traction. And then once you get about to the middle of the track, you might just lift and just let it coast. And then you start rolling, and that's the key thing. You start rolling on the throttle. It's not a come off the corner and just hammer it down. It's you roll on, get that throttle up there on a nice, easy pace so the tires don't spin and get up off that corner.
And that's the thing, too, I find the easiest way to say it, too, if you're not trail braking, the car just gets super loose. And on a track like this, there's no banking to really hold you.
That's
hold
right.
your hand, you know, because you can roll into the banking on a higher bank track. I mean, this track is exactly 1 mile in length. Well, so is Dover. Completely different tracks. Dover's like a mini speedway.
I'm getting
Almost
the
like
stats.
a mini super speedway, almost.
The
How high it's
stats,
banked.
and the stats from Benjamin Snyder. We have 24 drivers from the USA. We have 3 drivers from Brazil, 1 from Argentina, 1 from Colombia, and 1 from Peru. Brazilian drivers tonight are the 34, the 43, and the 205.
Nice.
205, 502.
502, right.
In the reverse, I think that's kind of cool. The reversed Menard scheme. And that means if you've ever seen the Menard scheme, it's very bright. The
Okay.
reverse of it is black.
Oh, cool. Just looking at
Seven-
Keith Hughes here in Happy Hour. He's an off-track admin tonight, right? He won't be racing.
Yep, Hughes is going to be the off-track admin. We have 8 Chevrolets, 7 Toyotas, 4 Dodges, 4 Fords, 3 Lexuses, 2 Kias, which we know are the Snyder boys, and 1 Cadillac, Josh Mercurio, and then actually there is a 1 Pontiac out there tonight. I got to remember his number. It was 5 something, a 3-digit number. That for you here. I don't know if he's out on the track yet, but there was a Pontiac white car out there tonight. Keith Hughes is out on the track, but I'm told that he is going to be our sitting admin for tonight.
Yep.
That kind of hurts him in points, but I'll tell you, you know what? You hats off to him for doing that, because
you need those guys.
You need sitting admins. You need somebody with as many cars as we have out here on a weekly basis.
Mm-hmm.
You need someone that can take the time to, you know, we've done it in certain leagues where you've actually had to go onto pit road, out in your car, go view a replay, come back out, and try to figure out what went wrong.
I'm just retiring my car here.
Sitting admin can just sit there, back, review it, and say, okay, this is what happened. This is what we're going to do, you know?
Yep. So right now, tonight, as we do here every single week, we have a different Grand Marshal to give the call to start the engines. This week, Presley Sorah, ARCA Menards Series driver. He's going to do the honors for us this evening. We're just waiting for the last of the cars to get on the grid, and then we will let Sir Presley Sorah take it away. So thanks again to Presley for taking the time to cut the video that we're about to play. It's always super cool how Ben finds all these people, especially guys like this who are like serious, actually like an ARCA Series driver. So we'll let Presley do the honors now, and we'll come back and we'll run down a little bit of the grid.
Hey everyone, this is ARCA Menards Series driver Presley Sorah. HVRL Maverick Cup Series drivers, start your engines.
All right.
We're going to have Josh Mercurio on pole. Jack Merkel actually took time tonight, but I noticed something. He took time, but he's not on the front row. I saw him drop back.
Okay.
Not sure what that was about, but maybe he just wanted to have that. And then, of course, we have, here we go.
Can you do lane choice on the parade lap? Probably not.
I don't know what they do here on that.
Yeah.
You know, I that's one of those things we'd have to ask Ben about.
Yeah. Never thought of that. Mercurio with a good start there on the pole, right beside him, RJ Bishop, and we're going 3 wide into turn 1. Why not?
A great start, but he almost backed off.
Yeah.
Let RJ Bishop get by him on the high side there. He's coming back after him. I know Mercurio is a pretty good little short tracker, you know, so he might be one of the guys you got to get up there and fight with. But Jack Merkel, like we talked earlier, was set on the outside pole, but he went to the back. So he's got some of that. RJ Bishop, we're very familiar with RJ Bishop. We've been on different leagues and stuff and followed him. He is always a good little racer, and I think he's a really great flat track racer as well.
Yeah, these guys wasted no time getting to it. Mercurio out there. Bishop behind him. Got Senny Gutierrez. Trey Kinsey on the inside of him. Jonathan Peavy in the number 2.
Don't forget Carby Edwards, our super sub.
Yep, Carby Edwards in the 80, driving his own car.
That's the strangest thing. He's been subbing for everybody all this time.
Yeah.
Now he's in his own car for a change.
Allison Rodrigo in the 43. Was he here last week? I can't remember.
I can find that information out if you give me a second.
I don't think he was. That car is so green that I don't remember seeing it. Joseph Landy Pavlon returns to the Maverick Cup Series in the 68. Behind him, is it Alex? Is it no Anthony McCreary? McCreary. McCrury. McCreary.
What was the one that you wanted to know if was here last week?
Allison Rodrigo in the 43. Randy Wan, the 21. Jonathan Godfrey in the 711. With Jane Adkins right beside him in the 37. Michael Norman behind them. Carlos Mendez, Jorge Pachon. Oh, Gravois. I can't remember. Is it Jarrett? Yes, it is Jarrett Gravois.
Don't see him in the lineup, but there was.
Oh, there's Lucas
35
Garcia.
cars last week.
Like you're saying, he's running the inverted Menards scheme.
Yeah. It's black with the bright green.
Steph
I
Thomas.
just noticed as I come back into it, happened to be on Tate Dorsey, and he made a pit stop. So, not sure what happened, whether he got tangled up with somebody or just maybe got loose and smoked the tires. But
there's Nick Gunther right there. Some smoke there. Christian Torres, Steph Thomas again, Noah Wetzel, Mike Carroll, Mark Schneider, Crocodile Cromp in the 19, Ben Snyder in the 7. Kinsey's down on the back straight there. Austin LaPlante in the 92. I missed one. Matt McIntyre in the 738. Thought I missed somebody.
We are under caution.
Dorsey, Kinsey, yeah. Kinsey's just sitting there on the back straightaway. Early in the race, we try to get through the whole field there, make sure everybody gets on screen. So,
and we do have that Mac Tools Pontiac car out there tonight is the 738 of Matt McIntyre.
Right.
Talked about it earlier, so I want to make sure that we did talk with Carby Edwards next week, and he said he will be actually driving the number 7 Kia for Benjamin Snyder next week.
Okay.
Benjamin Snyder is going to stay out. Watched him just for a moment there.
Just looking for the point of caution here.
A lot of drivers came down pit road.
I think it might be because Kinsey's actually parked. Oh, wait a second. McIntyre's around. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, it looks like McIntyre got around all by himself, though.
First one off pit road is going to be Jack Merkel with 4 tires in that Chevy SS. Jeff Gordon paint scheme, but I guarantee you it's not a paint scheme that he's won in. Jack was telling us he's never won in a paint scheme that Jeff Gordon's won in.
I remember that. I love the little superstitions. That's so cool.
They always say never drive a green race car.
No?
No. They say you're never going to have any luck on the green race car. I've never had any problem.
Probably the bunny never had a problem.
Have you ever gone out driving down the road and you see somebody out there with a really, really bright green Dodge Charger or Challenger?
Right.
That's the color of my go-kart.
Oh, cool.
It is bright.
Yep. Lights are off on the pace wagon.
Josh Mercurio stayed out with RJ Bishop.
Most of the first half of the pack stayed out. Everybody from 1st to 16th stayed out. Everybody from 16th down to 30th had pit. Jim Jernigan, unfortunately, has retired from an accident.
We're at moderate damage, so 9 times out of 10, it doesn't wreck you too bad, but it can happen.
Mm-hmm.
So the difference is, if you're the first guy to pit, now you're not hoping for yellows. You're hoping for this thing to go green for a while, so that the guys in front of you, their tires are going to fall off, and then you're actually going to make hay. Josh McCurry got a really good run,
maniacs.
As did I'm trying to think of his name. I'm sorry, Carlos Mendez. He got a really good start.
We're going 4 wide, and
No fear, come
crashing.
on.
The 2 just got clobbered.
Jonathan TV, he's had some races lately that have just been phenomenal.
Somebody didn't check up for the... Oh, it actually punted him over the wall. He's in the infield. He might get black flagged for this.
Well, what'll happen is he'll get towed in, so he'll end up going laps down. Getting the car fixed if it needs it, putting 4 tires fuel on it, come back out. He'll just have to hope that there's enough cautions and that he's in the right position to be able to get some of them laps back and hope that the car's in good enough shape so that he can make it to the front.
Yeah, he was looking for it. He can't get back on the other side of that wall, so he's going to have to take that. Going to back up. Somebody didn't slow down for the smoke, and Peavey's car looks demolished. Plus, he ended up on the inside, on the wrong side of that concrete barrier. We'll put it in slow motion here. Who got him?
RJ Bishop's going to be the first one to come in.
It wasn't malicious at all. It was actually Christian Torres who was out of control that clobbered him. I thought he got hit by someone just running into a pack. Yeah, Torres got into a little kerfuffle back there also. You know what? Let's go on Torres' car and see if we can see what happened to him. Yeah, they're all checking up. Oh, man. I can't get a good angle on that.
And it just looks like some of the drivers just had nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Benjamin Smider got into it, but he was in the back there. Him and another driver actually touched. They were coming off the corner. And that's the hard thing about coming off the corner here. You've got somebody underneath you. You're trying to... And I just see there, I think it was the 4 that got sent right into TV. But you come off the corner and you're trying to hold that thing down, and then it pushes up. You run into the guy outside of you.
Yeah, so a log jam on the back straightaway there. Thanks again to Rise Motorsports for sponsoring tonight's event. If you want to get in on the sponsorship for the broadcast or just donate into the league, get in touch with Ben Snyder.
If you want to run, get hold of Ben Snyder.
Yep.
I'd like to say that there's a lot of room in here, but sometimes there isn't. You're going to have to be good enough to qualify to get in.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it's jam-packed. It's jam-packed tonight. 33 slots of 40 occupied.
Yep. Josh McCurry and the 43 of Alison, I'm going to say this wrong anyway.
Rodrigo.
They haven't pitted, along with Cynthia Gutierrez, and I don't believe that Carby Edwards is pitted anymore, nor has Mike Norman and Nick Gunther.
Nope. And neither has Noah Wetzel and Jade Atkins have not.
They're just kind of staying out. I think it's smart.
Yep.
They're staying out of that trouble that's going on behind them.
That's the thing. And we got into like a 7 or 8 lap right off the start, as everybody found space and we were just kind of clipping along, and then stuff's going to happen. So I think they're looking at that long run, like you're saying, some track position, try to keep the damage off the car.
Curriel gets a very good start, gets out there in front with that pink and blue Cadillac. Whoops, Edwards is spinning around going in the entry there. I think he had to lift a little bit more than he wanted to, and that back end, he lost the back end of it. I believe that's going to bring out the next caution. I believe that's what happened. I'm not 100% positive, but...
Yep. That definitely looked like it. We'll back that up. It looked like Carnby got loose going into the turn.
It's not hard to do here. Like I said, trail braking is an art form. And if you are not familiar with it, it's so easy to make a mistake on the entry of the corner, and then you lose the back of it. Once you get the back end goes around, it's really hard to save.
Yeah, that little hiccup there just plugged up turns 3 and 4.
So George Pashan is the first guy out there that has pitted. Other than what's going on right now, it looks like that Anthony McCreary is pitting again. Just trying to see if who stayed, who didn't. Positions are going to change a little bit here because some people stayed out, some people didn't.
Changing the exit camera so we can see that a little bit better. I'm never a fan of the stock pit lane cameras. I always switch them. You can switch them live. We'll do it live. We'll move them around like this, and we'll look over here at that ambulance and all that good stuff. Oh.
So after 16 laps, Josh Mercurio decided that it was time. Noah Wetzel, Jane Atkins, I think Jorge Prejean is already pitted.
What happened to Tate? No, was that Kinsey?
Tate was a lap down early.
His hood is actually crunched.
See, I don't know what happened to him because he, like I said, I had gone to the backstretch and he was coming out. He was 3 laps down, so okay, I don't know what. Whether he had to get tires and fix and stuff and whatever. But
I just reversed it 1 lap. We're going to see what happened up to a lap ago because his hood. Oh, that's not the way you exit the pits. McCurry tried to pass Kinsey on the left in the pit stall and it actually killed. Yeah, that's where the damage came from. You could see that on the replay on how he goes between him and the wall.
Yep.
And then when it finally comes back, it's just an instantaneous damage.
Yeah. See, what happens is while he's on pit road, he can't be damaged.
He can't take it, because they're doing service.
He can take damage. Okay? Right. But it won't show up until after.
Till they drop
these cars off. Noah Wetzel's going to be our leader this time by. Could even start off the corner, although when he goes into turn 1, he just sails in there a little bit.
That's unfortunate for Trey.
Yeah.
No, is it Tate? No, wait, who am I looking at? I'm looking at Kinsey.
Yeah.
Yes. Trey Kinsey and Tate Dorsey. I'm getting the names mixed up. Bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. Reading words.
It's his first time doing
I mean, you got to start somewhere. Yeah.
On the start, Noah Wetzel got out there in the front, but RJ Bishop, who we know Noah Wetzel hasn't pitted yet, and we know that RJ Bishop pitted not too long ago because we saw him do it. So he's going to try to see if he can make short work of Noah. Noah's running a great line. Just got to keep running that line. Make RJ Bishop go around the high side.
Yeah, cars that have not pit. Benjamin Snyder currently showing him in the 11th spot. In 5th, Jane Adkins and Wetzel in 1st. Those are the only 3 cars who have not pit.
So RJ Bishop just did what I think was one of the smartest moves that most drivers can do, especially at a short track, flat track like this. He went into the corner and he showed his nose. He didn't get in there. Put his nose enough. Noah Wetzel went high, gave him the bottom side, drove right by him.
Patience, you know what I mean? Like just waiting them out.
Yeah.
And like you said, just I'm over here, and then it gets you looking, and then you let them go, you know.
Jorge Pashan just took second over from Noah Wetzel. Now remember, Wetzel's still out there on old tires. That's gonna catch him. But he's kind of hoping that he did get out there, he led some laps, great, and that he's got some more bonus points. Hopefully a caution comes in here relatively soon. And, he'll be able to get in there and pit. Yeah, it might be in the back, but Then again, everybody might go in, and it might be an overall game.
Speaking of leading laps, after 9 races, most laps led. You want to take a guess? You already know the answer.
I already know what it is, so I'm not going to guess.
Jack Merkel, after 9 races, which is 966 laps that we've run, he's led 245 of them.
Wow.
And in a not close second, TV has led 129, and then Bishop has led 63. So just Merkel running away with laps led.
And Merkel currently in the 4th position, about to take 3rd away from Noah Wenzel. Like you said, Noah's out there on older tires, so just struggling to try to keep it going straight. His next guy that's going to try to get past him there is Joseph Landy Polan, JLP. We haven't seen him for a little while. We've seen the car out there. Harvey Edwards has been out there racing it for him. He just has been doing some other stuff, which life has that ability. That's like, I told you last Sunday, if we run Sunday, you may have to get somebody. I didn't get home until way late.
You want to watch a guy use the whole track. Watch how close Jack Merkel gets to these walls here. It's wild to see how close they get sometimes. Right there, he's actually got some space. But the last time around, there was no space between the right side of that car and that wall coming out of that
You're really
track.
going to do that. You want to try to carry the momentum as much as you can. So if you start pinching that car down off the corner, you're not carrying momentum. You're slowing yourself down.
Mm-hmm.
Now that he's trying to get by Jorge, he's gonna have to. They can't come pulling up there and knock him into the fence. Able to make the pass, works his way into the 3rd position. Glad to see that he qualified tonight, because he had been on this trip of, I'm just going to start in the back and I'm going to go win races. And although he surprised us, took outside pole, but he didn't take the pole. He went to the back. So he just knows the importance of a good pit stop.
Yep, that is part of the strategy. Yeah, you can, like you said, qualify good, then just drop back if you want that challenge. But qualifying at the back, you're not going to get the greatest, especially for the very last one. All right, let's see.
Just poking around the back a little bit, not necessarily. We're back under caution, but Christian Torres is up in the 5th position back there with the number 4 main one main financial, which is the kind of the old paint scheme that one of the Elliott boys used to run there. I think which one was that now? I can't think of the funnier one. Gosh, I can't think of his name.
There's a bunch of Elliots. You talk about like Chris, Jeff, Donnie.
No. The big boys, real boys. Racing.
Chase.
No, not Chase. This is different family.
Oh, somebody in the chat, type it.
Elliott Sadler. That's it.
You're talking about
Elliott
first name
Sadler.
Elliott. I was going for
Elliott
last
Sadler.
name.
This is his first name. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking his last name was Elliott, but hey, Vermonter. What do you want?
Yeah. Looks like Benjamin Snyder got turned around a little bit there by Noah Wetzel.
A lot of cars pitted this time. First one off pit road is going to be Jack Merkel. That's good job. Harvey Edwards still on the lead lap. Nate Dorsey's should be. I don't know how many cars they give. The lap back.
I can't remember.
I'm surprised that Noah Wenzel has not pitted yet. But he led a little bit. He's currently in 2nd. Oh, now he's going to pit. Okay. It looks to me, just looking really quickly, it looks like either Benjamin Snyder or that is one of the Mike Carroll. Could be your lucky dog. I'm not sure how that goes.
Yeah, I'm showing, Mike and Ben. would be the first 2 cars a lap down. We'll be able to check that. I mean, they should be coming up to the front right now. Lights are off on the pace car, so.
I'm just going to give a shout out to Austin LaPlante. We've talked about him. I've talked about him a little bit. Used to race with him, like I said, but got a chance to talk with him tonight. Wish him the best of luck. He's, like I said, a fellow guy up here from New England. Hope that he can go up there and take one away from him.
Where's he sitting in the current standings? He's
He's
pretty
21st currently.
Oh, is he?
Remember,
Okay.
pit cycles and, all that.
Driving the Excedrin car. I could use some of that.
Yeah, Sonic car tonight. He's in the Excedrin car. Either one, both of his cars are good. I'm not a big fan of red, but I like his paint schemes.
That's cool, yeah. Where's he sitting in the
RJ
standings overall? Currently running in 21st, but where is he overall in the season?
Let me find that information out.
Ooh, little bumping and grinding there. Well, you know what? That's why there's fenders on these things. Jericho Voy. Oh. Oh, Kinsey
That's
has
pleasant.
removed the hood from that.
Pleasantly surprised. He's currently 3rd place in points.
Right, I was going to say he's up there.
Yeah. He's been, he's not the fastest car every week out there, but he's just a model of consistency, And running near the top 10 just about every week. That's the stuff that'll pay off.
First time back since Daytona, the 55 of Nick Gunther. Major damage to the rear of that car. Yeah, you don't see a hood get removed too often with moderate damage, but
No, if you did, you hit hard.
after that kerfuffle on pit road there with that little glitch, the car got stuck beside him on the inside and snapped back and tore the hood off. But it is a flat track, so I mean, you don't really need the aerodynamics. It's not like we're talking
yes
about
and no.
Talladega or like, Texas or something.
It's a mile track. Okay. So I'll tell you the same thing that I tell everybody.
Okay.
You're driving down the road at 40 miles an hour. Take your hand, put it out the window. Keep it straight. Right? Aerodynamics doesn't make a batter when it's straight. Put it on a 45-degree angle down. Where's your hand go? Aerodynamics is important on everything. Jack Merkel is going to be the one that stays out. RJ Bishop decided that he was going to go down pit road. Carlos Mendez is going to stay out with Jack. And then Kristen Torres, Jorge Pojon. I can't see who's behind him. Gotta move.
Lucas Garcia is down there as well. And and Randy Waugh. I'm sure Corey is at home watching. Oh, he parked right behind the Hollywood Hotel. We'll have to move that camera. Right on board with
JLP.
Randy here.
JLP up there in 8th.
Attendance here tonight. You can see all the fans up there in the bleachers. Attendance here this evening is 844,302 people here tonight. I don't know how they got them all in this place. I think they're under the truck.
Put them in like sardines,
Yep, that's it.
Okay. And then Jack Merkel pulls down pit road. Last minute. Gonna give Carlos Mendez the lead. Christian Torres is gonna be out on the outside of him.
Lights are off.
Jorge Pojon pitted as well. And that means it's going to be Anthony McCreary in the 3rd position, I believe.
Disqualification. Ben Snyder has been disqualified from his own race. I mean, if you own the league, you shouldn't disqualify yourself.
I don't know.
I would cheat. I would win every race.
Well, I think if you did that, though, you probably wouldn't have a league running for it.
You're probably right. Welcome to the Blaine League. Every week,
Right.
Blaine wins. But he wasn't even here. Doesn't matter. Maximum points. I run this.
We have that problem on Sundays with the go-karts, but
Oh, nice.
a 15-year-old girl, she's a talent. Hard to beat. Beatable, but it's hard to do.
Riding along with Randy Waugh on the restart here.
Oh, no.
Oh, calamity in turn number 1. Everybody going around in circles. We must be into a cool down right now.
I was
right?
just thinking.
There
So
comes
if
the pace car.
Okay. I was wondering if that was going to happen, only because I saw Merkel had the lead. And then I saw Merkel decide all of a sudden, he didn't pit the first time by, he pitted the second time by. And I was thinking to myself, I wonder if they were going into a caution cool down. He just, he knew something I didn't. But I would imagine this is going to probably do it.
Yeah, they're going to communicate that too on the channel that we cannot hear, unfortunately, the main TeamSpeak channel.
Oh, we could always go down there and just listen.
Yeah,
wouldn't be much of a broadcast, and
you also don't know what you're going to hear.
We might have to do it on turbo because
yes, precisely. Because on turbo, there's no filter, but this is a family-friendly broadcast. Carlos Mendez in first place, coming around to catch the pace car. Pits are now open. Do we have any takers?
Most of them pitted last time by.
It's the back half of the field. Looks like they're going to come in.
Which is smart.
Are going to stay
you're
out.
Back there. You got nothing to gain. Possibility of caution cool down coming. You're going to have better tires for a little while. Caution cool down, and they actually just kind of separate everybody a little bit and get it into a green flag run. Which is what we're hoping for, obviously.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody, for watching this evening. Thanks again to Rise Motorsports for sponsoring. We'll get up in the sky here and take a look at the Milwaukee Mile.
Got to look at the chat. I haven't done that for a minute. Mackenzie's on there. Hello, Mackenzie. Love you, kiddo.
Hey, Mackenzie.
Budget Customs. I don't know who Budget Custom is. Dave Valeka? I don't know who that is. Saying it wrong. It's the people we got on there. We've got
David Vodka. He was in here last week, too. Yeah, there's lots of hits. I've got about 50 hits on the broadcast, just not
14 people watching,
chatty.
and we only have 3 likes. Of course, you might see that better. On mine, it doesn't change. Benjamin Snyder putting up there that we are going to have caution cool down that will last for 7 laps.
Okay, so caution cooldown is in effect.
Yep. Thank you, Benjamin, for that information.
7 laps on when we take the green. It's 7 laps with no yellows.
Yep.
Okay. Here's a quick update on the schedule. Next week, you can join us in Pocono. We will be traveling with the Maverick Cup Series. We might have to use American Truck Simulator to get there, but when we get there, we're going to use this NASCAR simulator to do the racing. Pocono next week.
That would be awesome.
That would be cool.
If you had to drive your own truck there and everything, that'd be cool.
You should fire up American Truck Simulator, and somebody should drive from Milwaukee Mile to Pocono.
Oh, I had friends of mine do that. I've had guys that did convoys.
Yeah.
They did exactly that.
Like you're like, okay, say you're Christian Torres, who we're focused on right now in the second position. And it's like, yeah, okay, we'll just pretend like we load that car in a hauler, and then somebody's got to drive it to Pocono, and then we follow that guy, make a little trailer.
Can you imagine doing that from
nice
Colombia
save by
or
Jorge
Brazil?
Pachon. Yes, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
We'd have to put that in fast forward. I don't think you want to watch that one real time. But hey, man, American Truck Simulator, you could put it in real time and actually do it.
Oh yeah, I have played it before. It
looks cool.
I played it in the early part of it where you would come driving down the road, and the next thing you know, some kid bobtailing would come along at about 200 miles an hour and just wreck your truck.
Yeah.
Before rules and regulations were got in there, and kind of got old quick.
Carlos Mendez driving away in the first position.
How is Benjamin feeding us information? Atlanta Motor Speedway is going to be now Echo Park Speedway.
Oh, on the schedule that I just showed?
Yeah.
Oh. So I need to get an updated schedule graphic.
Christian Torres is around, and I believe it is turn 3.
Okay.
See what happened to him. Just happened to be going through the field.
Mendez, Mercurio, and Anthony McCreary are your top 3. That's who we're watching right now. We'll put up the interval on the top left of your screen there to see the distance from the leader. All in real time. Oh, Benjamin Snyder letting us know in the YouTube chat there that Atlanta Motor Speedway is now Echo Park Speedway. It's the same track. It just got rebranded. So they got a different sponsor. No international drivers have won a race yet this year. The last one to win was Alison Rodrigo in Kansas in September of 2024. That race was broadcasted on Tarnation TV. Cool.
You've got to get some of them guys to step their game up.
That's cool. Yeah, because we got Carlos Mendez out here right now. You can definitely get it done once the caution cool down is over with.
A little bit of change up front.
Yeah, he's pitted 3 times, led 12 laps right there. It's a 12th lap lead.
Josh Mercurio is back up there in second. Anthony McCreary is behind him. Said, little change up out front. Josh has been up there earlier in the race, kind of where the caution flags have fallen and where he's pitted and whatnot. Put him back. Now he's back up near the front.
Yep. Talking about caution cooldowns, our record this year, this is race number 10. At Dover, we had 11. That's the most cautions we've had. Right now, we're sitting at 6.
Michael Norman's got working his way up to the 5th spot. I'm curious. I'm going to find out something. I want to know where he is in points.
Who's that?
Michael Norman. He is currently 8th in points.
Yeah, as I say, he's top. I remember him being top 10.
I was just curious. I know he's usually running up near the front. I just didn't know where he was. Surprised. You look at that top 10. I'm not surprised that, Jack Merkel and Josh Mercurio up there. Austin LaPlante, I know I've raced with him. He has a good little shoe. He's just a model of consistency. RJ Bishop, he's always up there. Tate Dorsey's up there. Jonathan Peavy, he's had some great races as of late. Anthony McCreary, Michael Norman. Let's see Puppy Sandoval. Got to put the puppy in there. And Jorge Puchon.
I don't see him. He was in the TeamSpeak chat tonight, but he's not on the track. Ulysses.
He's not out there tonight.
No, he was in the TeamSpeak. I remember seeing him in the TeamSpeak because I had some stats on him. But
well, something must have come up because he's always usually here.
This just in. 1 second.
Oh, there we go.
From Ben Snyder, Mendez and Rodrigo are teammates. We still use carrier pigeon to get notes delivered here at Tarnation TV.
Yeah. That's why we have the information next Tuesday.
Right.
It takes that long to get a carrier pigeon from here to Canada. I think we'd better off just put it on a goose.
There you go. Can't take those things down. Most wins this season, Merkel with 3, and Rogers with 2.
I think we're going to see Merkel's win percentage probably step up soon because now that he's he's qualifying.
Mm-hmm.
He was trying to do the I can win from the back thing, and it mind you, great. Like we always said, he's getting up there in the top 5 just about every week. But he's setting himself an uphill battle to do it.
Yeah, and you got to watch too at these tracks. I mean, especially a track like this, we got 33 people showing up.
Hard to pass. It's hard to pass here.
A lot of traffic.
Got somebody that comes up off the bottom. The big thing is you really got to try to work them up off the bottom.
I mean, and for that too, it's a crazy commitment to try to do it from the back. Yes. In a league like this where you're going to get 30 people every week, at least. But like, if most leagues average 15 to 20, that's a little bit different.
A little easier to do when you're, you're starting 40th, ish or so, or 35th or 40th every week, trying to work your way through a pack. I mean, he did it at Sears Point or Infineon or how you want to call it.
Yeah.
And finished, I believe it was third, and had a great run. And it was a caution-free race, so he set himself back a bit just before the green even came out.
And it's great too. Like when I say like most leagues average 15, from a simulator that was made in 2003, that's absolutely amazing. I love it. I can't imagine that. Like I got out of this thing for a little while, and it's always been my favorite game. And then to see it pop up in a broadcast on YouTube, I'm like, man, people still play my game. Like this is my game. People still play it. Because I got out of it for about 6 years or so, maybe even a little bit longer. Just a little gap there, And then I'm thinking, I didn't think it ran on newer hardware. Like all this stuff, I just sort of wasn't privy to it. Then I started looking into it, and you're like, yeah, Rolling Thunder's still going. Like, life happens, and you kind of get away from it, but you can always come back. And there's people playing this thing now that weren't even alive when it was released.
Oh, yeah. And the thing about it is what happened basically when, as I told you before, the game was released in December of 2002, because they lost the rights to it, so they got it out a little bit quicker. But Project Wildfire stepped up, and they made it a ability to be modded per certain fit. They put the truck in the the Xfinity mod in there. They built the Trans Am mod for it and stuff like that.
And the Craftsman truck mod.
And what people have done since then is incredible. These guys have gone out and just made different mods, and
the tracks were getting, the cars were getting, the paint schemes, the sound packs, the graphic packs. It's just nonstop. And the tricks with the ticker, like how am I able to roll that across the top of your screen right now? Thanks, what's his name, Peter Dinkett. That guy, come on.
Just a little heads up there, Nick Gunther. The guy that ain't been here for a while. I'm going to guess he's a pretty good little flat tracker, because he just passed Michael Norman, and he is currently in the 5th position. And I don't know what you're seeing, but the back of this car is a little bit shortened.
It is, yeah.
So,
McCreary just drove around to the lead on the right side of Mendes. That was a great pass.
I've talked about this before. Sometimes when you bend up a car, especially in the back like his is, it has a tendency to loosen it up a little bit. Now, we're in a fixed setup league, and they got to make a setup that all drivers can drive, and that's a difficult thing to do. You can't take like my setup that I run at Martinsville and expect all these guys to be able to drive it. They would just be, they would be spinning out going into the corners. So you got to get a setup that's fairly decent. So some people, that's going to be a little bit too tight. Well, he's backed it into the fence, and I guarantee you this probably helped the car out, especially if he's a driver that likes it to be a little bit more on the loose side.
So here's a question for you, being a kart guy who actually builds cars, sets them up, races every weekend. The garage in this thing, like, exactly what you have to do to get what you want out of the car. Does it kind of mimic real life?
Yes. So,
wow.
if I'm on a short track around here, flat track, where I cut my teeth, and I'm running around out there, and I'm a little bit too tight on the exit of the corner, I put 200 pounds of right rear spring in that thing, it's going to loosen up. So you do the same thing. That's exactly what I do all the time.
No kidding.
Shocks are the most important thing in this game that people don't realize.
Yeah.
You don't go out there and say, "Oops, I'm way tight. Change a shock." No. You change, caster, camber. You change springs. You get it so that it's close. But when you get it close, if you're one of these drivers that can actually tell what it does when it lands, what it does in the middle, what it does when it rolls on the throttle, and all that stuff, start playing around with the shocks, and you'll make it better on the exit. Now, mind you, that's in an open setup. A lot of the leagues that we do are all fixed setups.
But this is also in a simulator that's over 20 years old.
Yeah. Well,
and that actually translates. It's crazy. Yep. Those minute details react the way they should.
Yep. I'll give
Wow.
you the perfect example of
Okay.
that. I started racing at Talladega Nights,
Yep.
and as you know, we've covered a lot of their stuff. Jeff Elliott said to me, "Well, we're trying to do a setup for the Talladega track. Would you help so and so do it?" Yeah. So
Because
I
he
went
knew
out.
you've been in this since it
Yep.
was released, and you've been
Yep.
a Papyrus guy your whole life. And
Yep. So
Yeah.
we went out, and I went out there and I turned a couple of laps, and I said, "All right, hold on a minute." I went out and I tweaked the
Click.
shocks.
Yeah.
All I did was the shocks. And then I come back out. I'm like, all right. So then I backed out, saved the setup, and whatever, and then loaded it up with that. And I said, try that. They're still running that setup to this day.
Were you the one that created that setup? Like helped create
I didn't
that
create
setup?
it. No, I modified it.
You just tweaked it, yeah.
I just tweaked it because it was a little too tight. They had a problem where they couldn't get off the corner to turn 2. So I just basically, the best way I can explain it is tied it down with a shock. Basically,
Right.
I made the shock pull down. So you basically put a little bit more rebound in the shock so the shock can't come up. And it holds
And
it down. And
That track I too is. Oh, Noah Wetzel just sending it right there. He's a lap down. But yeah, that track I on that Talladega is a little bit different too. So in combination with the setup you helped with, it's basically flawless on that track with that setup. 3 wide all day. Let's go.
a great setup. Just needed a little help with it off too. I gave them a couple of insights and whatever. I said, try that. They liked it, and they're still running.
Wow. We looked away for 2 seconds, and Carlos Mendez is back in first. He got around McCreary.
Just going to say that.
Yep. I looked back at Josh because he was having a little trouble with lap traffic there, but Noah clearly pit. We saw Noah coming out of the pits a few laps ago, so Noah's got the tires, and he just kind of dealt with Josh, but
So far,
Noah is a lap down.
Carlos Mendoza has led the most laps tonight already, up to 25.
Yep.
And adding on to that.
That's the thing,
got
you
8.
come to these flat tracks, you're like, okay, well, let's see who's good here,
Josh Mercurio is currently running in the third position and has led 15. We got to go back for RJ Bishop. He's back there a bit, and he has led 11 laps. Count him out. I think we'll see RJ back up there. Right now, we're in a kind of a long green flag run, which I think is very cool. Creeping up to the halfway point of the race.
Yep. Yeah, RJ's sitting back there in 16th at the moment. Mendez putting on a clinic. Now, I'm curious, next week when we go to Pocono, is that considered... it's not really considered a flat track, I guess.
Well,
But I kind of think it is.
basically, turn 1 is... oh, what do they call that track?
That's the steep... that's the banked one.
Yes, and that is... I want to say it's Tremont, but I'm thinking it wrong. It's a track that no longer exists. And it was the turn 3 and 4 is turn 1 and 2. Turn 2 is Indy. And
Right.
turn 3 is this track, Milwaukee.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Basically mirrored off a 3.
It's a Frankenstein monster of 3 different
Right.
tracks. And I remember
Yep.
Benny Parsons had something to do with that. I can't remember how, but I remember him talking about that years and years ago.
And it has the longest straightaway in all of NASCAR.
Yeah,
Even
that long
Road America's
pond, right?
straightaway is not as long as the length of the straightaway at Pocono.
Is it the Long Pond Straight? Is that the one?
The long pond is the one off from the turn 2. Front stretch is
okay.
the longest one.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of be a fun track depending on what version of that you run.
Did you know that High Voltage Racing League has been around since 2021?
Did not.
Then came the Bull Ring, which made Gen 6 2015 mod. Nick Gunther is the defending series champion. He is also the all-time winner. What is it? He is also the all-time wins leader. If the 24 wins tonight, he will have sole possession of third and all-time wins with 7. I'm just
that's
reading
cool.
all Ben's stuff in the YouTube chat here. He is
I see
currently
that.
tied with 2022 series champion Todd Wilson, all-time wins leader Nick Gunther with 13. Keith Hughes is second with 11. Todd Wilson and Jack Merkel tied for third with 6. Huang Do is fifth with 5. The 49 is owned by the ARCA team, Brad Smith Motorsports, a team that usually runs in the back at ARCA. Noah Wetzel is a crew member for that team, sometimes a crew chief, and sometimes a spotter. Noah Wetzel does everything, apparently. What doesn't he do? That's a shorter list. The 34 and the 61, both looking for their first career MCS win. There we go. I think we're caught up.
Santi Gutierrez was one of the early drivers to pit.
Okay.
He had just pitted and came out. It did it a couple of laps ago, but you were kind of busy.
Yeah. There's Santi Gutierrez right there in the 81. Currently in 13th. Looks like we get the 61 coming out of the pits. McCreary has pitted. Mendez is still out there.
We only have 11 cars on the lead lap.
Yeah.
So that's because some of the drivers are starting to... Some of them are getting overrun and getting laps down, but some of them are pitted, coming out and getting fresher tires.
This is very cool when we get these green flag stops, especially on a race like this. What's the fuel and the tire window out here tonight?
Fuel window I saw in the garage is roughly around 50 laps. But the tire window, just talking to some of the drivers earlier, I don't think it's going to make it quite that far, especially if you try to be aggressive.
Okay.
JPL was telling her, JLP was telling me that, you just got to save a little bit. If we get a green flag run, you can't run the tires off of it because you don't have any when you get to the end of it.
Curious how long Mendez can make these tires last then, because he's still out there. Gunther's only pitted twice also. Gunther's pitted twice. Mendez has actually pitted 3 times, but there was some yellows and stuff. The 78 right there of RJ, he's a lap down. So Mendez will probably let him go.
Benjamin Snyder and Jane Atkins have only pitted once. Granted, they're retired. They're just saving money on tires.
Oh, there you go. I'm like, how have they done that? Yeah, out of the race. Yeah, Mendez is keeping it going. Everybody else is pretty much dipped.
Nick Gunther, he's currently running in the second position. Kind of, sort of running.
Mm-hmm.
Mendez down just a little bit. Mendez's tires must be getting near the end of the run. Do you pit now? You know what I mean? Or do you just kind of hope and wait for, a caution to come out and catch all these guys? You got everybody from 8th place down, 1 lap down. Got a caution come down. You think about that. He's trapped a bunch of drivers as Gunther takes over the lead.
See, if Mendez now, he's good on fuel for the rest of the race. Like, next time he pits, he's fine.
Yeah, and that could be it, too. He's going to play the one more pit stop game.
Yeah, and if he...
Looks like he's pitting right now, yeah.
Because this is crazy. He put on like an extra 5 or 6 laps, so, that's going to extend his run.
Yep.
This could be a good move. If
goes green the rest of the way, that could come into play in his favor.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, trying to look at who's still out there. We've got all the way up to the top 7. Okay, so I'm going to guess Jack Merkel must have just pitted because he dropped a lap down.
On board right now with Carlos Mendez.
Still got a ways to go, so can't go out there and blister the tires off, but he's just got to run smart. Allison Ruggiero, I can't say that. Don't know. The 43 just pitted. leaves Trey Kingston. Now he was out there with a pretty beat up car.
Current leader Allison Rodrigo on pit lane. So he's probably getting full service. Yep.
Trey Kingsley came in right behind him.
Yep. There's Trey right there.
Now Nick Gunther's still out there, I think. Gunther still, he must have pitted because now he's 7th. He was out there leading a little bit ago.
There's Jack Merkel in the 9.
Have to wait till everybody kind of cycles around a little bit to figure out who is where and what.
In the 9. He's in 9th position. He's in the 24. Jack Merkel in the 24 in 9th position. That's what I meant to say. Like I said, words are complicated sometimes. We got to start somewhere. So,
Josh
so
Mercurio
far,
currently.
Yep.
Josh Mercurio is currently in the 3rd position. Cinta Gutierrez is in 2nd. And a new leader just led their first lap for tonight, Michael Norman.
Michael Norman.
Played the strategy right.
Yep.
Got himself out there.
He is Seth Cole's right-hand man sometimes over there at Flat Out Racing Network, fellow broadcaster Michael Norman. Your leader. Most laps led tonight, Carlos Mendez. Fastest car tonight, Anthony McCreary. 28.725 seconds from stripe to stripe. An average of 125.3 mile per hour. Pretty good for a 1 mile long flat track.
With 40 to go, depending on when Michael Norman pitted.
Oh, Randy Waugh around.
Randy Waugh around on the backstretch, yeah.
It probably won't be a yellow for that one. He's all by
It's a
himself.
single car. As long as it's a single car and he was able to get going and out of the way, it will not. The next thing is Josh Mercurio. He's starting to work over Sanchez, Gutierrez. So, Josh, granted, he's our pole sitter for tonight. Do you have anything for Michael Norman? And, when that's the only thing that our GNL TV doesn't tell us, which would be nice, is when they did actually last pit. But
Yeah, we have to write that down.
just because you think about it, if Michael Norman pitted 10 laps early or too early,
Right.
so he may not be able to make the distance. He got him out in the lead. He's out there. I mean, he might be just hoping that it goes for a bit. Caution comes out, and then, he can retain the lead.
Whoa.
I see that. It was a few.
The 27 was going real slow. Looks like the 27's actually got a tire down. He caused a little bit of a hiccup there, but everybody navigated it pretty good.
Yeah.
Santi Gutierrez got shuffled away from Mercurio, though. Pits are closed, which means yellow is up.
That's a pretty good green flag run. So now the question is, I'm thinking, if it was me, I imagine everybody's going to come down, take 4 tires and fuel. You may get a few drivers that just stay out.
Actually, that's a good
how
point.
this
Maybe
is
I'll
gonna
stay
play out.
alive. I was going to look for the replay, but I think we're gonna do just that because we're getting near the end here. Most of these guys, like you said, there could be some strategy in here because you know what? Cautions breed cautions. This tightens everybody back up again. So
Yep.
somebody might choose to stay out, and hopefully they can get some extra laps by clutching a little bit, maybe under yellow.
You might get a few that are going to stay out just to go out and just to lead a lap and then pit. Like everybody in the front, as I predicted, probably they're all coming down, going to take 4 tires and
Randy,
fuel.
Christian, Noah, they're all staying out. Dorsey.
And but they're all the lap down, so they technically
gotcha.
can't pit till the second time by.
Right. See our little NASCAR guy holding the stop sign. As the pack goes by, you're not allowed to exit. That's an easy penalty to get.
Yes, it is.
You forget about that stop sign guy and you just drive through it. Race off pit road. Looks like Mercurio in front of Norman and Gutierrez.
It's going to be a little bit tougher for Norman. I mean, I'm not saying he's not a good flat tracker. I don't know his racing prowess, but I do know Josh Mercurio's.
Mm-hmm. Wanna
Michael
grab
can do
Josh?
anything with him. We can try.
I'm the first car that pitted, but I think there are some people that
Uh-oh.
are ahead of me that didn't pit.
You interrupted Josh. He was talking
He's
to
in
his
there
team.
talking strategy, and we take him out of there. Josh
Live
Mercurio.
live on Tarnation TV, Josh.
You just gave out your strategy, bud.
Yep,
Oh,
you're-
hi guys. I didn't even notice.
That's all
Rod.
good.
Rod's very rude. He just goes in and grabs people, doesn't even ask. Just, you're now in an interview. Boom. Anyway, man, second overall with 1,294 points, 136 points away from the leader, 8 starts, 4 top 5s, and 6 top 10s. How do you feel?
You know, it's good. It's not perfect. I'm striving for perfection. So there's still room for improvement. Still need a win.
Yes.
But yeah.
That's the thing, though. He's second overall, man, and you got to get that win.
We would love to sit and chat with him, but he is getting ready to go green. So
I just realized.
Yeah, we're going fast.
give him
today,
heck,
guys.
Josh.
Thank
Good
you.
luck, Josh.
Good luck,
Thanks, man.
buddy.
Apologies
Sorry
to
about that. We
Josh's
had to
team
kinda-
for yeah.
We had to get him back out there. He's getting ready to go green. We don't
Yes.
need to be distracting him while he's getting ready to go green. So
Yeah, we got
see if
to.
he's got anything for Kirby Edwards. I don't know if Kirby pitted, so
He did not.
Michael Norman is pushing him down the front stretch.
Carnby did not
The
pick.
downside to that, okay, which is why Michael's doing that, because he knows he's on older tires. When he gets to the corner, he's not going to turn. Now, fortunately, Josh Mercurio got around him and got away from him before he pushed up into his lane.
Yeah, Carnby, we were watching, and he's going
Oh,
around.
no! Save it! Bunch of guys just had nowhere to go, kind of tangled up with him. Caused a big melee. Caution's back out again. Unfortunately, I saw Anthony Mercurio and Jack Merkel involved in that one. Something you don't want to happen that, too late in the race like that, because it might be a little harder to get to the front.
Yeah. Yeah, we did have some stats on Ulysses Sandoval, but he did not race this evening. We can still put him up on the screen here, though. 9th overall, 962 points, 468 away from the leader. Out of the 796 laps that he has led, out of the 796 laps he has run here in the Maverick Cup Series, Ulysses has led 8 of those. How can you tell I've got a new stat cruncher?
As you are busy playing with it.
Oh, yeah.
Santi Gutierrez is currently in the 5th position. Some of the people I don't think that pitted this time by. Of course, the other ones, they just had to make it through that mess. I was going to say that Kirby Edwards is in 4th, but I thought he just came out of pit road. And Nick Gunther, he is currently in the 3rd position. We talked about him a little bit off and on. 2nd, our co-broadcaster over there at the Flat Out Racing Network, Michael Norman. Current leader right now is the Josh Mercurio, our pole sitter for tonight. And I don't know who's driving the pace car, but
Yeah, who's driving the pace car?
usually it's, Brett Bodine?
It looks like sometimes they look like dudes. One of them looks like Dale Earnhardt for sure.
Yeah. Brett Bodine used to drive the pace car because he used to be a NASCAR driver.
Mm-hmm. That only makes sense. There's somebody out here there who knows what they're doing.
Now, that's stretching it, whether Brett Bodine knew what he was doing. It would depend on who you ask. You ask Jeff Bodine at Indy, he's going to tell you he had no idea what he's doing. They had a race at Indy where Brett got up behind his brother and kind of just gave him a little love tap, just enough to, rattle his cage, as Dale Earnhardt Jr. or Jan Earnhardt would say. Yeah. I guess apparently Jeff wasn't as good as he thought he was because he couldn't hold it.
You think Josh is watching the broadcast and
I believe he is. He's merging with the pace car.
yeah, This is like Inception. Everything's coming together in a dream, man. Lights are up.
How these guys are out there, leading this race, and leading the race and out playing around like that, and watching a broadcast at the same time. Now this is different. He is actually taking the high side.
You're watching the broadcast on a 20-second delay too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So he has. Yeah. So Josh is in first. So he does have lane choice.
Yep.
And he flipped with Norman.
He took the outside, which is different.
And we have, we got 30 laps to go.
Yep. We're getting down to the end of it.
Or 29, I guess. We're coming to 29 to go. I hit the wrong button. We're not live in car radio. What happened? Oh, num lock. That's why. Num lock. Classic.
I used to have that FN key that messed me up like that.
Yeah.
We're back green. Michael Norman got a really good start at that bottom.
Yeah. But I think Josh is a bigger fan of that high line, yeah.
I think if there's enough grip up there, he'd get a better run off, but I think we went back into caution.
Yes. Well, we'll load up a replay here and see what happened on that one.
It's hard to believe about one thing, but like you said, and I would think it'd make a big difference. But Trey Kingsley's back there in fourth with that bent up car. Toyota.
Yeah,
running
exactly.
the Toyota that's bent all up. He's currently running in fourth. And he doesn't seem to be running too bad.
Oh, right off the restart, Mendez had to check up a little bit, and that caused a major domino effect to ripple through the whole field. Mercurio headed to the pits? Nope.
No, I was going to say that. Whether or not anybody would do that, I almost think it might be different. I don't know, but I'd almost think that you made your bed if you're up front. You're just going to kind of want to stay out there.
From 13th position, Merkel pitted. Yep. Engine gearbox. Oh no! Engine gearbox failure on Mendez. He has retired. Oh no! And
Merkel
Anthony
pitted
McCurry
from
is out as well.
The 13th position. So he's not up there. A little over 20, 25 laps. That kind of makes sense. He's got more. He's going to have better tires to come up through there, maybe.
I'm going to look here if I can find Mendez.
All right, so Noah Wenzel, Tate Dorsey, RJ Bishop. Lucas Garcia going to pit from the back of they're not too far back. They're all in the lead lap. They're just going to pit, get fresher tires. See if they can't maybe use those tires to work their way towards the front.
It looks like, when Mendez got rear-ended there, we were in cockpit with him. The thing just blew up. It was redlining. This is on the restart. Right there, it's just hopping off the 9,000. Now, what happened on the outside of the car, though? He got a bump, but he didn't get a bump that hard.
Lights are off on the pace coming out.
Something happened, that's really strange to me. That looks really strange.
Michael Norman's got the lead. Good start for Michael Norman. Josh Mercurio was right there on the outside of him.
Back alive again.
I still can't believe how strong Trey's running with that beat up car.
Yeah. Watch the replay from Mendez on the restart. It looks like he hopped the tires twice, got bumped a little bit, and then he retired with a blown engine.
He might have missed a gear.
I think he might have missed a shift.
Yep.
dominate the race, too. Had 38 laps led on the night. Nobody's going to catch that.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is very unfortunate. Yeah, was really exciting watching him up there, and he was still there.
That's like Jonathan Peavy last week. Although Jonathan still finished the race. I think he was, 5th last week? We did interview him. Unfortunately, Jack Merkel and the other second-place driver had to jump off the tee speak. So we just grabbed them guys and chatted with them.
Yep. Jason Awesome Vods in the YouTube chat says, hey. So I should say, hey. Hey, Jason. And Benjamin let us know 34 would be the 7th different winner if he wins tonight. Of course, that will not happen. He has retired. Michael Norman in 2nd. Trey Kinsey in 3rd. Nick Gunther right behind him in 4th. And Jorge Pachon in the 72. Santi Gutierrez in 6th position. Austin LaPlante in 7th. Christian Torres in 8th. Joseph Landy Pavlon in 9th, and the 10th place car of Jack Merkel. Crocodile Crump in 11th.
Austin's not going to make up any, at current, he's not going to make up any time on Josh Mercurio, but currently he's going to make up a little bit of points on Jack Merkel unless Jack gets up there and gets by him.
And there's Jarek Gravois. I hope I'm saying that right. I want to say Gravois, but I believe Ben corrected us on that one, so it's Gravois.
Yeah. We sometimes have trouble pronouncing names.
Yes. Especially if your last name is Rogers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, Roberts or Rogers or whatever, how you want to go.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Zach Rogers he dominated Sonoma.
Yeah.
There was like a 56-second lead to 2nd place on that track. That guy, he knows how to get around that one. Here's his battle here for 3rd place. Trey and Nick.
Oof.
Oh, Norman, everybody bumped the wall. Norman bumped the
Norman
wall. Kinsey
did.
dumped it,
Trey did.
It. Yeah.
I gave Nick a chance to get underneath Trey and get into the 3rd position.
Yeah, it gave Jorge a chance to close that gap, something awful too. So now he's breathing down the neck of
We're
Kinsey.
getting right down to 20 laps to go. See if we can get this thing to finish under green. Josh Mercurio with about a 0.66 lead on Michael Norman.
Yep.
Nick Gunther's he's biting at the rear of that Toyota of Michael Norman. He wants that position. Now the question is he running it too hard to try to get it? Is Michael Norman trying to say something just in case he needs it for the end?
Cars that have retired this evening, unfortunately. Jim Jernigan, Mike Carroll, Jane Adkins, Benjamin Snyder, Carnby, Edward, Anthony McCurry, Carlos Mendez, and Jonathan Peavy. Within the last 5 laps, it has also had to retire.
That's heartbreak for him, too, because he is right up there in the points.
Yeah.
I think he was...
Oh, underneath Norman.
Norman's point.
Yep.
Go ahead. 6 points, and he had just moved up there from the good run he had last week.
Yeah. Norman's car in mint condition just got passed by 2 guys who...
oh, no!
Oh, we spun him out on purpose. Probably
I think he
not
just
on
got
purpose.
it. I think that car is banged up enough to where...
Yeah, no,
it's not handling very good.
That's just a joke. Yeah, definitely not on purpose. It's just close racing, man. He got to him, and he tried to not so much block him, but just say, hey, you're not going to take that spot, and just end up going around. The green flag remains. Oh, Kinsey took a wallop there from Merkel. Forced down pit road.
Oof.
Wow. That is going to make him angry. He ended up spinning out right into the pit road, so he's kind of forced to drive down there, I'm pretty sure. Let's see if we can find him. The 18 of Kinsey is gone.
He has
retired. He's retired. My GNL says that he has retired.
Okay. I was just looking at that. I was watching him drop.
Yeah. Let's see
The
if I
plant
can
currently
find
running
that,
in the
actually.
7th position, so that's pretty good for him. He's currently third in points. Unfortunately for him, Josh Mercurio is in front of him, but he is in front of Jack Merkel. So
Just watching a replay here of Kinsey. Jorge Pichon right behind him, Merkel behind him. And it was Merkel that got into the 18. Just curious to what happened. Trey slowed down a lot. You know what? I think Trey was going. I think Trey was making a pit stop because he was hugging that bottom line, and yeah, he's on the brakes.
Well, I thought Jack Merkel was further behind, but he's actually currently in the 4th position. So
I think Trey was going for a pit stop, and then Jack just didn't get. He probably didn't hear the call or didn't see the text on the screen and had no choice. He's just unfortunately just ran right through him because that's the spot where you would be throwing the anchor down to get into pit road because of how insanely tight that's going to be. It's like, oh, here's your yellow line and hurry up and stop. There's Christian Torres in 5th. Tate Dorsey right behind him in 19th. So Tate's a lap down. The next car would be the 81 there of Gutierrez for position there on Torres.
Tate's had enough roughly been 3 laps down, like right from the get-go, and he's only made one of those laps up. So I don't remember if over here if they do 1 or 2 of the lucky dogs, but being that there's been cars that are 1 or less laps down than him, he had struggled to get back on that lead lap.
Yeah. John Godfrey there in the 711 Hubba Bubba car in 18th position. Jorge Pichon in 4th. Jack Merkel in 3rd.
He was in 4th a little bit ago, so Jack Merkel's made his way past Jorge Pichon.
Nick Gunther in 2nd, looking for Josh. I'll put up the interval again here.
Josh ain't pulled away from him, but if you're Josh on a flat track, you don't want to go out there and burn your stuff up. Keep that. If you can keep that interview just about where it is, just keep them there.
And especially with Nick behind you.
Yep.
Because he's closing the gap. You'll see right here at the line that'll go down. Oh, it's staying about the same. The gap is staying about the same. Went up about a tenth.
Yes, like I said, he's gonna just keep he's just gonna go fast enough to keep him behind him.
Right.
Jack Merkel's about 3.5 seconds behind him. Got nothing to worry about him as long as this thing goes green flag all the way.
Yep. Some lap traffic coming up here, Matt McIntyre.
We're within under 10 to go, so.
Matt McIntyre is a couple laps down, I think. Yeah, 2 laps down, about to go 3. Yeah, like you just said, he's going just quick enough to keep Nick about 3rd to 4th second behind him.
Let Nick go, let Nick go hard and let Nick try to run his stuff off and just keep the pace that you don't need to keep, There's no sense in trying to burn your stuff if you don't have to.
Yeah, I find like if I was Mercurio, I would find it very hard to ignore my review mirror, where you kind of have to. If you can ignore your review mirror and just hit your marks and race your race.
Put up your F2.
Yeah.
F2 is going to get you where they are behind you.
Yeah.
Or you can even put up your F1, which is just going to give you where they are behind you at the line.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just focus forward. Keep that, keep that pace. As he drops down to try to pass.
That's when I find I make mistakes.
Mark Snyder. You don't look in the rearview mirror unless you're at Talladega.
Right.
And Daytona. You don't have
to. Run your race, right?
Run your race, especially at a flat track.
Right. Yeah, that interval is not changing. Looks like there's a battle going on here. 4th. Although, where is 4th? There it is. Oh, we got around him. Sandy Gutierrez got around Jorge Pachon to take over 4th position.
If it ends the way it's running now, we got a spinner on the backstretch to see if you can get that spun around and going. That's the only Pontiac in the field, Matt McIntyre. Currently just waiting for the cars to go around. He's spun it around.
Did he spin again? Are you live?
Yep.
Okay.
On the backstretch.
So I saw him spin a couple laps ago too.
We probably.
Self-spinning.
Whoa! That was close. I was working my way to the front. Noah Wenzel and Steph Thomas kind of touched just a little bit. Just a little wiggle. They got it squared away and got it, drove out of it, and everything's good. Creeping up just about 3 laps to go.
I wonder if Nick has anything left. He's not really gaining, but he's not really losing anything. It's just Josh just hitting those marks.
What you got to do.
And Josh said in that little, 10-second interview, we grabbed him there, and he was looking for the win. So
You got all them stats. Has he won yet this year?
no,
I can tell you that already. I knew that, but yeah, it would be good for him to get a win. Gives him a few points over Jack Merkel. Not much, because Jack Merkel's currently right back there in the 3rd position. Both led laps. So Josh Mercurio Josh has led 43, so he's going to end up getting the most laps led for tonight. Gives him 5 more bonus points. 2 to go. Coming off now should be the white flag. Maybe? I didn't see the flag, man. Yeah, white flag. Oh, now he's creeping up on Michael Norman.
8 starts and 6 top 10s, 4 top 5s, no wins. Average finishing position, 6.13.
Michael Norman, always a
Take
gentleman, pulls over to the bottom of the track and lets the 2 leaders fight for it.
Yep. Nick's right there. I don't think he's going to get him.
Oh, no.
I mean, if he hasn't gotten him yet, it did not happen.
There's your
run.
winner.
Another great race.
Nick Gunther come back, but he come back with a vengeance. He ran great tonight.
Oh, there's Norman.
Gunther was trying to give him a
party.
little pudge, a little help him out a little bit, and Michael Norman gave him a little bit more help out.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to Josh Mercurio. Getting my mouth working. Is
Now you
a lot of names, and we've raced with Josh before though. There's a little how is she going there from the 68? Who drives the 68? Excellent question, Joseph Landypath.
So do you think we can grab Jack Merkel before he runs away and try?
Sure. Thanks again to Rise Motorsports for sponsoring this deal.
He's in the
Couldn't do
room. Now we
without
got to
you
get him
guys.
to unmute his mic. Otherwise, you're going to have to do your... Oh, there we go. 3rd place finisher for tonight. Current point leader. You took the outside... You got outside in the front row, but you didn't take it. You went to the back. Are you still trying to do that come from the back to the front deal?
Yeah, that's going to be a season-long deal on that.
Oh, okay. Still, you got the points lead. Came all the way up through to finish 3rd. Last week we didn't get a chance to talk to you. I think you kind of had to either go to work or something. But this week we actually get a chance to talk to you, so that's pretty cool. Tell us a little bit about how your night went.
Terrible, honestly. I think I was involved in every single caution that happened out there. The car was pretty bad. The last restart happened, and I had fresher tires than everybody. I knew I could get up there. And then the 18 got parked, and then brake checked in front of me, and I lost all the time I had on the leaders, and that's what ruined my chance of winning it all.
You got the points lead, starting from the back, which is I think is kind of fun. I've always liked that. It's back in my old days of racing, you always had to start in the back if you were the points leader, and you pretty much every week kind of make your way up to the top 5. That's why you're the points leader. That's why you're kind of kicking butt on here and taking names. You're not winning as much, not starting up front, but I think you can. I'm hoping that you can get that win from that back position.
Yeah, I mean, I got it last week, thankfully. So I got the monkey off my back of getting one of them done. I feel like I had a pretty good chance this week. Definitely had better tires. Was still chasing the leaders down at the end of the race, but like I said, the 18's a hack and just does what he always does and ruins the race for everybody else.
Yeah, I see him kind of driving in there a little bit. His car was beat up pretty bad, so. Well, I don't think Blaine's got anything for you. Congratulations on your third place finish here. Currently the point leader. Keep it up, keep it strong. Give you a chance to thank the people that got you here.
Just thanks to Drive Down Hunger for giving us a good 24 car this week. Sorry I couldn't bring it home, and I think I had roof damage from like the first caution that came out, and it would just kind of hindered me for the rest of the night, and just couldn't bring it home on the win.
So you've told us in the past that every time you run a paint scheme that Jeff Gordon actually won in.
Oh yeah.
You never
Forgot
win.
about this.
Yeah, that streak was broken today.
Okay.
Awesome.
It was intact up until today.
Okay. Because I know you've always seemed to say the ones he's always won with, I can't seem to do nothing with. So.
Yeah, not great. Not a great showing today for the car, but glad I could bring it back home in third.
All right, Blaine, you got anything for him or?
No, man, awesome race. It was, we like Rod noticed you qualified, but then still dropped back just to get that better parking spot. But yeah, man, a little bit of a mess out there sometimes. But yeah, the fact that you weathered the storm and made it to the podium, it's pretty awesome to watch how you guys can kind of navigate that and the craziness that usually the first quarter of the race. If guys aren't comfortable on certain tracks, so definitely let them do what they do and then get to some racing. So yeah, it's always good to see you up there.
Yeah, it's definitely fun here. It's definitely a challenge to try and get these race wins, but I enjoy it, and I enjoy the challenge of trying to do it.
They're just not.
All right, so there is our third place finisher of tonight, Jack Merkel, current point leader. Congratulations on your third place finish. Let's see you get out there and win one from the back, bud.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jack.
Second place, hasn't been here for a few races. Shows up. Man, second place, not bad at all. But so tell us a little bit about your night.
It was more about just survival. I kind of just started in the back to just to avoid the nonsense there. I think Jack's just trying to copy me at this point because in like other some of the leagues I start from the back and work my way to the front. He's just taking it to a whole nother level, it seems.
Been doing well.
About my night, it was just surviving a demolition derby and just trying to avoid the not so smart people to cause incidents. I think you might have saw like who was not very smart versus who is pretty smart anyway. It's just avoiding those types of guys. That's how I was able to run my way through the field to get second. I was hoping for that race to go green the rest of the way, though.
I kind of had a feeling that, you had little damage in the back of the car. I don't know where you got that from earlier. And that might have helped you out a little bit.
Yeah, usually when you get hit, when you hit something from behind, the back end caves in, it's supposed to make your car looser. I didn't feel that much looser. I was hoping for more rotation through the center. It helps a little. I did help a little bit, but I needed more of that rotation. So I think I need to slam the wall a little bit harder in the back.
So we're gonna see you next week?
Maybe not. Where are we at? Pocono?
Yeah.
Then you'll probably see me. It's my home track.
There you go.
I won the race last season with only third gear because third and fourth gear were clearly about the same.
You'll laugh on an open setup. I actually run fourth gear all the way around.
Yeah, no. It's just that time third and fourth gear just happened to be like close to one another.
Close enough, yeah.
Because I lost fourth gear.
That's cool. Lane, you got anything for him?
Yeah, I was just taking a big old drink of water.
And I get him. I love it when I catch him off guard.
Yeah, like let's mute the mic and take a sip, and then that's when Rod's gonna call on me. But yeah,
absolutely.
Man, good to see you back here since Daytona, and then you let everybody know you were here because here you are, second place. So always fun to see you guys do what you do. But the what was the pit? Because we were looking at the pits. The Rod was saying 50 laps or so on fuel. Were the tires syncing up with that at all, or?
If you know how to manage the right side tires, anyway. I know some people actually blew right fronts before making their pit stops there.
Yeah.
If you know how to manage your right side tires, you can definitely make it on there. I mean, the fuel window was 45 laps because of the little fall off that you had there. So I made sure I tried to pit on that number before going in. I was perfectly content for the race to go rest of the way green, but then I forgot. Oh, we're in this series.
Yeah. All right, Nick. I'm going to give you the floor. You can thank the people that got you here, bud. Congratulations on your second place.
Well, it's nice for the Fortnite Squad racing crew to be back again with with another fast car. I'm just so sorry for all the others that are in our little team there and that kind of got taken out there, especially towards the very end. I feel like we could have had a different top 3 there. With Michael should have been finishing a little bit higher than there. It's just people aren't exactly the smartest in the bunch there. So I would also like to thank. Hold on 1 second. I also want to thank my sponsors, REMA, Recycled Materials Association. Of course, I'm a Matt the Benedetto fan, so I like to run these types of paid schemes every now and then. Of course, we got to thank my YouTube channel, MinDQ77B. We're at just over 800 subscribers. We are at the Season 4 of our NASCAR Thunder 2000 career mode, so you want to check that out, go ahead. I should be uploading another episode tomorrow or so. Let's see, what else? We got thanks to Disney Speedstorm for, of course, being the little fast cars that we have there as well. And I think that's about it there in terms of who I need to thank.
See that YouTube channel again?
MimNicu787B.
Okay.
It's on the car. My logo's on the car.
Perfect. Yeah, you said it so fast. Yeah, we'll definitely have to take a look at that. That sounds cool.
All of the other.
So there we go. That's our second place finisher. He hasn't been here for a while. Showed up and finished second.
And now you have the first place guy. Take it away, Josh.
Thanks, Nick.
Well, so we brought you up.
Yeah, I was going to say, I said earlier that nobody was going to take over the laps led from Carlos Mendez there. He had 38 with about 25 left, and, Josh actually did it. Most laps led tonight.
I was going to put him up here, and then he went out and won. Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah. Definitely a pretty awesome week, I think, or pretty awesome race. I mean, technically, I went perfect today, so pole, most laps led, and the win. So it's funny because I was complaining about the track in Discord the most.
Were you really?
Before the race, yeah.
Pole position, wins the race, led the most laps,
and
coming
complains.
out of here, and hates the track.
Are you a flat track driver, Josh? I know I've raced with you a lot at the big super speedway stuff, but
yeah, I love the flat tracks. So Gateway, this place, New Hampshire.
Place. Come on, say my favorite. Say my favorite.
Milwaukee Mile.
Oh, Martinsville.
Yeah. But I love the flat tracks.
I love me some Martinsville.
You have to. Oh yeah, Martinsville. I don't know. Martinsville is so short that it doesn't really count, because when you have these really long sweeping corners, you have to get the car to rotate when you're braking and carry that rotation all the way to the exit of the corner.
Yeah. And you've never run my setup at Martinsville, then?
Okay, I guess so. I think Martinsville is just so much. Just get on the brakes as hard as you can, swing around the corner, maybe knock someone out of the way.
Well, my version of it is you hit the chip at the start-finish line, you hit the brakes with 49% rear brake, which helps you turn into the corner. You get in the middle, you lift, and then you roll, and then slam the throttle, and just keep on going. You got to wash, rinse, and repeat.
All right, I want that setup. Let me try that.
I can do that. But I know what you mean by with the flat tracks, because I used to be pretty good at New Hampshire Speedway until I gave somebody my setup. But
yep, you got to keep those locked down pretty.
Yeah, you do.
Quiet.
Like you said, pole led the most laps, won the race. I mean, the old pink and blue Cadillac was getting her done tonight.
Yeah. So we had a couple long runs in the middle of the race, and I burned my stuff up. Just burned it up. Just going too hard into the corners, trying to make up time on the 34 and the 61 at the time. And so if we had gone green from the end there on that long run, my race would have been over. So getting that reset with like 30 to go was pretty good. It was awesome for my race. And then that last green flag run, I just knew what to do because I had done it wrong first. So saved the tires, got up high, and let Nick burn his stuff up behind me trying to catch up.
What was I saying, Blaine? What was I saying?
He
He
was
was
saying-
keeping him just the right amount
Yep.
behind him, saving his stuff.
We
Yep.
were watching the interval, and it was going like 3-5-4-5, 3-5-4-5. That's all it was. And it's like, yep, you're just racing your race
just
and doing
said
what
he's
you
just
do.
racing his race, keeping him behind him. So yeah, the thing of it is, you said like you burn your stuff up trying there, and with as many cautions as they have over here, sometimes, you know, and I'm not dissing them and whatnot. It makes hard to do strategy like that. You know, you go through a few cautions and you try to get out there, like you said, and you just wanted to catch back up to them. You figured, you know, we're gonna have a caution another maybe 5-10 laps or so. So you burn your stuff up thinking, you know, I'm going to be able to pit. And then all of a sudden you realize, we're going for a long green flag run. That does change your strategy a little bit. And then, like you said, burns the stuff up. But fortunately, you caught the yellow at the right time, and you were able to get back on a good set of tires with everybody else and then save them smartly and make it to the end.
Yep, and you know, normally if you're in like a smaller league of, you know, maybe 12, 14 guys at the track like this where the tires are so important, you're going to pit every single time.
Yep.
But the track position is so important that sometimes you just have to make that gamble to stay out and hold on to that track position, because even if we have a long green flag run like we did at the end there, the guys at the back, even if they have fresh tires, there's just not enough time for them to make it up, and by the time they get to you, the stuff's going to be burnt off. So
I noticed it was very hard to pass unless somebody gave you the room.
yeah, definitely. I think, you know, the top side was really good. It was slower on the top in general, but it was just really hard to get the run on somebody when they squeezed you on exit. So when I made a mistake and Anthony got underneath me, I just thought, you know, we're just we got half the race left. I'll let you go. And
I see that. You see that on one restart you took the outside, and I didn't know if that was going to be a good thing or not. And Michael Norman got just a better start than you did on the bottom, where you had been on the bottom, had great starts all night.
Yeah, it was perfect. I was sleeping a little bit. I was looking in my mirror, watching him creep up, thinking, oh, I wonder if I should speed up a little bit. And by the time I had realized what was going on, I had already missed the jump. And so he got me cleared there going into one. But then he made the mistake thinking the bottom was the way to go on the restart. So the next time round, I had him.
You didn't fall asleep.
Nope.
And you got any more 4-hour winner tonight?
I was gonna say it would have been a great run to see. Like, it's unfortunate that Carlos Mendez actually had engine failure, because you guys were dominating with the laps led. It would have been cool to have him up there and see what could have happened. But I think on a restart something slipped and I think he popped his motor. But stuff happens, man. It's a long
fourth, so he was done.
Yeah, we were in the car with him, and it was kind of hopping off 9,000, and then he just sort of retired. So I think he lost that gear and just decided to leave, which is a shame, because it would have been a great finish. I mean, it was a great finish, but you just kind of think back through the race, like, what if?
Yeah.
But like you said, you know, you're there, and you know those guys aren't.
Yeah, I mean, the 34 has been really fast too this year. When he missed the first couple of races, but every single time that he shows up, he's, you know, a real weapon, and he's got a real shot to win.
Yeah, we're always talking about him, it seems, every week. So
yeah, I think we had a really good battle at Sonoma, and then I think it was Texas. Have we been to Texas? I don't remember. It was one of the 1.5 miles that we had a good battle. So he's really fast and consistent, and I'm sure that if he had a shot and did blow his stuff up, he would have been there at the front at the end.
I still think the results would have been the same. That's just my opinion.
Oh,
Yeah.
I appreciate that, Rob.
no, man, total domination. Qualify first, finish first, lead the laps. It's
Good
yeah,
run.
I mean, definitely put on a clinic.
Nice. Awesome.
Oh, I'm going to give you the floor to thank the people that got you here.
Yeah, so gotta thank all the guys that work on the Cadillac.
Cadillac, I like that.
Yeah, the pink and
Cadillac.
purple Cadillac. You can't miss it.
Yep.
We are in the fight with Jack for the championship here. 15 points. It wasn't as much as we thought. Going into the end of the race there, because he was probably like 20th or something. But we're still making up ground. I don't think he should start sleeping yet. And got to thank my friends, the guys at NNSCRA that I race with, that I talk to, that I strategize with, that you can see, and family and friends and girlfriends that watch. So
Awesome, man. Now, fantastic race again, and congratulations on the first place win. We'll see you in Pocono, I would assume.
Yep, looking forward to it. See you guys.
All right,
Awesome.
Good job there, Josh.
And gotta say thanks again, of course, to Rise Motorsports for sponsoring the event tonight. And of course, VARKENSSTAD is the music you're listening to right now. My buddy Jono did the music at the start of the broadcast. And of course, Typo Negative for the intro music, for the big video package that I play at the front. All kinds of cool tunes. But yeah, man, that was a pretty awesome race. I mean, there's always a little bit hard to get moving. But then once these guys get running, there always seems to be a good strategic green flag chunk in the middle of these things. And
I think once we got the ball rolling, we were pretty good. We had a few more cautions late, but as that explained, Josh, he kind of needed that, and it helped him out. And then eventually he was able to come back out and take the win. First win of the season. Gained a few points, not too many, on Jack Merkel. So, that helps him out, but you still got a long road to hoe to try to catch Jack. I think last time I looked, Jack was about 185 points ahead of him. So that's a pretty good climb to make up.
yeah, they're pretty close every week. It's really tight up there at the top of the standings. So of course these results you're looking at are unofficial. Everything is always pending post-race review. But just look at the stats. You've got Josh qualifies first and wins. Gunther qualifies 33rd and got second. Even Christian Torres qualified 29th and ended up in 5th. So there's a lot of guys that really, you don't necessarily need to qualify really good here. You could just be consistent on the track. Maybe you don't have that qualifying setup. You've got that race setup, and you're in the right place at the right time. So everybody who showed up, awesome job.
Glad we got to actually talk to Jack Merkel for a bit. We've had before, but lately he's just had to get out of here, go to work, whatever it is he has to do. And he's been. I get it, but I don't get it. You know what I mean? He could go out there and he could win probably just about every week, and yet he consists on wanting to just start in the back and try to see if he can get it done. He said it's all season thing, so we'll be waiting in the wings to see if he can do that.
Yeah, interesting to see, especially like today, it's qualifying second, but then bailing on that, because I want the pit stall, but I don't want to start up here. I want to work my way through the field. And these races are long enough because they run like 30-35% long races. So you got enough time to make it happen. There's going to be a bunch of pitting, and what we get today, 9 caution flags. We didn't break the record. The record I believe was Dover. So
yep.
With 11, but yeah, 14 lead changes from 11 drivers, 9 caution flags with 27 laps under yellow. But yeah, man, I guess we're going to Pocono next week.
That'd be a fun one. It's a lot bigger track. It'd be interesting, depending on the setup, just what people will struggle with. I'm pretty sure probably most of them, with the exception of the guys that ran really, really well today, they'll probably struggle with 3 and 4 because that is, basically Milwaukee. So we'll see. Hopefully 3 different corners.
Yeah, and join us on Sunday as well. We're going to race number 2 of 3. That the Primetime Racing League, they had to bump their playoff races up a week because Danny had to work. So race number 2 is on Sunday, and then the Sunday after that, the finale of the championship will be handed out at Primetime Racing. And hosted by Brian Wolf, Rod Weston, and myself. We're doing a 3-man show over there.
Yeah, the only downside, it may be a 2-man show. Just depends if they're talking about they were going to know tomorrow whether or not we're running on Saturday or Sunday. And if we run on Sunday, like I told you last week, I didn't get home till about 8:30, so I would have not made it in time. So I will do my best, but I can't control what happens at the go-kart track, and unfortunately there was quite a few karts that went out there wrecked this last Sunday. So
yeah, and that's the thing. It's awesome that you let me know in advance. I can get a third guy in there, and then if you can't show up, at least there's still 2 of us. So that'll be cool. Hope everybody joins us there on Sunday to watch the playoffs continue at PRL, and of course the Maverick Cup Series. Thanks you for watching, and I hope you join us next Tuesday, 8:15 Eastern Standard Time. We'll see you next Tuesday evening. And you got anything you need to say before we bail?
just thanks for watching, everybody. We just got to get more people to give us those likes. That's all. We need the likes.
Yeah.
And like he said, if you don't like us, hit the dislike twice.
Yeah, double-click dislike. All right then, man. Thanks again, Rod, for the help. It's always a slice. And, of course, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Keep your stick on the ice.